Good morning. We're learning a mimer, Likuti Torah Alterebe's mimer, and the mimer is VeShoma Ovia. VeShoma Ovia is Nidrah. Father heard the vow that she makes. The beginning of this Torah Parshas Matos, it speaks about vows and who has the ability to annul the vows. So in this case, it's a little girl that makes a vow, or a woman that makes a vow. She's still under the jurisdiction of her father. She still lives with her father, and her father listens and he hears that she says she makes a vow. VeShoma Ovia is Nidrah. So we're going to speak in general about vows and what they're needed for. But it says that if her father hears it and he can't convince her not to do it, or he hears that he can annul her vow, anything that she restricted herself with, prohibited herself from not doing, and her father can annul her vow. Now, these vows are only for things that that are permissible. It's permissible to everyone. She decides that she wants to exclude herself from these things. So, lehovin inyan diktukei sefer. Said in general, the Alter Rebbe says we need to understand the whole concept of fences with the Torah when the rabbis added to what the Torah already prohibited. What is Nidrah? Nidrah vows is that I'm adding to what is already forbidden. There's 365 don't do's, and I'm saying now I'm going to add another thing. Let's say a Nazarite. He says, "Oh, from now on I'm not drinking wine." You already have 365. What are you adding another one on yourself? So Alter Rebbe says, okay, let's check what are all the fences that the rabbis added. There are prohibitions from the Torah, and then the rabbis came and added more. The whole Talmud is filled with halachas, with added laws and chumras, shechmiru chazal, and restrictions that the rabbis added. They added many fences, many precautionary measures to the written Torah. We know the oral Torah. So we need to understand. The Gemara in Yerushalmi says, "Lo daichav mashas Torah is not enough. What the Torah is already prohibited upon us. Why are the rabbis adding?" V'inyan muvan k'mo yishomu azal pasuk yitem dedecha miyayin. There's a pasuk in Shir Hashirim. It says, "Your deidecho." Simple meaning is your uncles. They're better than wine. What does it mean? Amok Nasi Yisrael, the assembly of Am Yisrael, of the Jewish people, said, "Arevim oledi v'sefer yesam min ha'shoter." Deidecho is referencing to the rabbis, to the sages that are called Deidim, that are called uncles, Reim to Hashem. They're friends of Hashem. They have close relationship with Hashem. Knesset Yisrael says to Hashem that the words of the rabbis, the sages, Arevim olai, they are sweeter to me more than Yeinu Shel Torah. What is Yeinu Shel Torah? The wine of Torah. Pirush Yeinu Shel Torah Pnimus HaTorah. The secrets of the Torah. V'Seid Yisrael. VeShoma Azal Nichnas Yain Yotza Seid. Gemara in Reuven tells us that when the wine enters, a secret comes out. So Yeina Shel Torah is referring to the secrets of the Torah, Pnimius HaTorah, the innermost of Torah. Now, Divas Seifrim Arevim HaKnesset Yisrael Yosem V'Seidas HaTorah. So the words of the scribes, of the sages, are sweeter to Knesset Yisrael more than the secrets of the Torah. So we see over here, what is the word of the scribes? It's restrictions, added fences. The rabbis added many laws that we shouldn't come to violate biblical laws. And we say, Arevi Molai, Tevim Doidecho Miyain, meaning the words of the sages are better. Those who are close to Hashem, the sages, their words are better than the yain, are sweeter than the yain. The yain is referring to the secrets of the Torah. And even what we say, what is the words of the scribes? Is even Shulchan Aruch, full of laws. All the added precautionary measures and different kinds of strict laws that were said by the rabbis, and ways of Musa. Pirkei Avos, Kulam Nimshachim B'chinas Avo Rabba, they're all drawn down from the level of Avo Rabba. Meshikosu v'ahavti eschem Omar Abai. This is in Malachi. Ahavti eschem Omar Hashem. Hashem said, I love you. So now these Gedolim, these fences, and added all these laws that were added by the rabbis, was instituted and enacted by the rabbis, and the ways of Musa that they instructed are all drawn down from Avo Rabba, from the great love that Hashem loves the Jewish people. She'ev HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. K'mo l'moshol odom machmas avos al bnei Medaktim u'yisol as yoshmir u'me'ulo b'syogim u'gdorim b'chol ha'sher b'al-koch ha'sheminu k'mikol v'kol. Someone that really loves his son, wants to protect him, wants to make sure he's safe. So he's added security, he's added different measures, spending more time with him, making sure that he's safe. He's telling him, don't go here, don't go there. The father is very scrupulous with him, that no evil, nothing bad comes his way. Why? Because he loves him very much. The more he loves him, the more he is worried about him. They say, what is a true love? It's like you're loving something so much that you're fearing a lot to lose it. Right. The more you love something, the more you fear to lose it. Okay? So in this case, since the father loves the son so much, the more he loves him, the more he fears to lose him. And since he fears to lose him, he makes sure to protect him in many different ways. So the rabbis are adding all these stringencies and laws, so we shouldn't come to, since their love to Hashem is so great, we don't want to sever this love. So we're creating all these stringencies not to, God forbid, come to transgression. He wants his son to find favor in the eyes of Hashem, in the eyes of human beings. He wants his son to be likable. So he teaches him good midos. If you want your children to be likable, you have to teach them good midos. You have to teach them adequacy, how to behave.
Right.
Otherwise, why would people want to be next to them?
Right.
Another example the Alter Rebbe brings, you have gemstones. The more expensive the gemstone is, the more you protect it.
Right.
The more you treasure it. You put it in a vessel, within a vessel, within a vessel, in a safe. You put it. Why? Because it's very precious. Because of Hashem's great love to us, so he brings all the stringencies of the rabbis, other ways of his Torah. But where is it coming all? Where is it all coming from? It's coming from Avorava, great love. B'syogim ugedorim lizchuseinu, and all these stringencies are there for our merits. Letoiv lonu, to embetter us. Sheni kim lefonov izbach, that we should be clean, should be pure before Hashem. It's called Shmira Meula. The Gemara speaks about the different types of shmira. If somebody gives you an object, you have to if you are negligent, you are liable. Even if you shemer chinam, even if you are a free watchman,
Right.
you are a non-paid watchman, but there's something called Shmira Meula, that you did everything you're supposed to do on your part. So Hashem also gave us Shmira Meula. You shouldn't have any kind of evil or bad, even bedakus, even in the smallest, in the most, in the slightest way. You shouldn't have any evil. So these stringencies are really expressing the intensity of Hashem's love to us. Now we need to understand why this love is primarily revealed in the time of Golus. The time of exile, seemingly the love is not as much as the time the Beis Hamikdash was around. When the Gemara was written? It was after the destruction of Beis Hamikdash. So all these gedorim, all these stringencies that were added, took place after the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. When was Hashem's greatest love to us? It's like, when is the relationship between a man and a woman is the best? When they live together or when they live together? When they're separated. Golus is like time of separation. The time of marriage is like the time of Beis Hamikdash. So all these gedorim, the fences, all these stringency laws came afterwards. Seemingly, it should have been the other way around, because that's the time that's the time the Beis Hamikdash was around. We saw the Shechina, the love seemingly was greater. So he says, the time the Beis Hamikdash was around, it was sufficient to have just the Oraisa, just the laws of Torah, without the rabbis adding anything to it.
But they had the Mishnah already now. The Mishnah.
Also after. What is the purpose of Avorab? What is the purpose of great love? Is to arouse within us also Avorab. The Hashem is showing us a certain level of love. So we should arouse the same thing within ourselves. And that's why after the destruction, specifically after the time of the destruction, we needed that help. We needed that support in order for us to come to Avos Hashem. In the time of the Beis Hamikdash, there was no need for it. They already had Avos Hashem. They already had Avorab. To arouse the great love within us, Hashem has to show it to us after the when the Beis Hamikdash was around. He showed it to them through the Beis Hamikdash. But after the destruction, we needed the Avo Rabba to be revealed to us in order for us to express the same type of love. This is a pasuk in Tilim, Ein Ches 78, verse 8. Make sure that our love is not directed toward physical things, material things. In the time of Beis Hamikdash, it says the attraction to physical things was not as strong as after the destruction. And that's why they didn't need revelation of Avo Rabba for them to have Avo Rabba. They already had it because their love was directed to Hashem. After the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, our primary attention was to physical things, and in order for us to attain Avo Rabba, we needed some revelation from above. And the revelation came in the form of the stringencies, the added laws. So the time of Beis Hamikdash was easy for a person to have Avos Hashem. At that time, a person's love was not tied and connected to physical things. They didn't need the special arousal. After the destruction, they needed a special arousal. Generation after generation, their hearts were diminished, minimized in their perfection in Avodas Hashem and serving Hashem with intense love, with fiery love. Now we are burnt with fallen fire. With a love for physical things. And so much so that it was intensified, physical things. It was so strong that we were unable to serve Hashem with love without first to have the great love given to us, revealed to us through the many laws of Torah, the stringencies of Torah, through the rabbis teaching us all the different laws. So the reason why great love was revealed to us after the destruction, because at that time we needed it the most. Time that the physical desires were so intense, that's the time that we primarily needed it. Whether it was Sumera, refraining from evils. See, why do we need Avo Rabba? Avo Rabba, so we can use it. How can we use it? What does it mean to use the great love? It means how to apply it. To apply it to Sumera, refraining from evil, and to apply it to Asatov, to do good. I mean, you utilize the love, like you love somebody. So what does that mean you love him? You're buying him gifts, you're calling him, you're involved with him. Same thing over here. You have Avo Rabba, you have great love. It means that right away you apply it. Sumera and Asatov. Serve Hashem, refraining from evil and do good. So Sumera is all the stringencies that are written in the Gemara and the Poskim, Shulchan Aruch and so on. And Bechinas Asatov, Divrei Musar, the way you conduct yourself, Asatov, you're doing good, Shabbat God, Sumila Dovis. Now we learn in Pirkei Avos. It's written exactly how a person should behave. Ein toivo, for example, he gives an example of the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. He said, what is the way that a person should choose for himself, a path in life? He says you have to have ein toivo, chover toiv, lev toiv, good eye. What is good eye? Shir is chaveru b'tuv ayin. You should always judge your friend favorably. And you shouldn't always look at your friend in a good eye, and you shouldn't think about him in an evil kind of a way. And you shouldn't think about him negatively. And it goes on to have a good heart, a good friend. And this is the meaning. VeShoma Ovia, a father, he listens to her vow. And then he refrains her, he tells her not to do it, he annuls her vow. The father annuls the vow. The father is referencing to the love that comes from above, the great love that is bestowed upon us from above. And then you have the Isha, the woman. You have the father, you have the Isha. Isha is referring to the assembly of Am Yisrael, Knesset Yisrael. The Nidrah, the vow, is the connection of the Jewish people with ropes, thick ropes of love to physical things, to material things. Comes the Nidrah, comes the vow, and connects a person to something. Prohibition or an obligation that he accepted upon himself without a possibility to go out of that, to get out of it. Now he's also. He made an issue on himself. Now he's like in prison in that issue. He can't get out of it. You can't annul your own vow. You need the help of the outside. You know, the issue in Chassidus explains anything that is prohibited means that it's incarcerated.
Right.
You can untie it. You can't elevate it.
Right.
You can't release the sparks that are in it because it's Isur, right? So the same thing over here, if someone took upon himself and made a Nidrah. But Chassidus tells us that the Nidrah describes the bond to physical things, to taivas, to desires, and in such a way that he's unable to release himself from it. He's an alcoholic, he is an angry man, whatever it is, that he's so immersed in what he's doing that it's hard for him to change. He makes a Nidrah. You're never going to get angry anymore, no matter what.
Right.
People will spit on me on the street. I'm not getting angry. I go about my day as if nothing happened. He has to go like the other extreme, right? Because that's his weakness. And that's the meaning that the father annuls a vow. The Nidrah is nullifying that knot, is releasing that knot. That's what Unkilu says. V'hefers nidro batil yas nidro. He says the Nidrah is nullified. And how is it being done? It has to be done through the father, through the Avo Rabo from above. Father represents the great love that comes from above. It says in the Gemara in Brachos, ve'ein chavush matir atzmei. Someone that is in jail, he cannot free himself. He has to have somebody from the outside to free him. Someone with the keys, right? Ki im alidei midas Avo Rabo b'chinas haveh. In order to free yourself, it has to be through Avo Rabo. So since a prisoner cannot free himself, therefore the only way to free yourself from the issue, from the prohibition, through Avo Rabo, through the great love that is revealed from above. And when that is revealed, you are released, you are free from the taivas. And you have an avarabo that is aroused within you. Bruchim to you.